Good evening, buenas noches. My name is Dan Rivera. I'm the mayor here in the city of Lawrence, and I'm also the chair of the school committee. It's nice to come to tonight to talk to you about something good. We've had a really tough week in our city, and so we've been spending a lot of time, helping people get over some of the problems we've had and trying to fix some of the problems we have. So we've been busy doing that. Es bueno estar aquí hablando de una cosa positiva, después de la semana que nosotros teníamos que fue medio raro y mal, y nos ha pasado la semana ayudando a personas como sentirse mejor y sobrevivir lo que ha pasado esta semana. So es bueno estar aquí hablando de una cosa positiva. Esto lo que estamos hablando hoy es cómo hacemos la ruta de la escuela a diferentes lugares que son importantes para la escuela, hacerla más segura. Asegurar que las aceras estén en buenas condiciones, las calles estén en buenas condiciones, para asegurar que un carro o un vehículo no le haga daño a un muchacho. So one of the things that it's really good here to talk about something really positive like this, given the week we had. But in its core, this is a program that helps make the routes to school and to different places around the school safer by making the sidewalks better, by making the streets better, more secure, so that a car can't just come and up off the street onto the sidewalk or through the crosswalks and hurt a child. We know that there's a route that people use all the time to get kids to play areas. There's routes to get kids come from bus stops and stuff like that. And so we try to do the best we can by looking at that area to make those areas better. That's what you'll have before you. Some people will talk to you about the layout and all that parts of it, and then we can ask some questions. La área que se cogió para hacer este trabajo, usted lo va a ver en los mapas, pero son áreas que se sabe que van de una área de la escuela a otro, o van a ir a un lugar donde los muchachos usan para jugar. Áreas que se saben que se usan más que otros, y hacer esas áreas más seguras para los muchachos. Va a oír de arquitectos y ingenieros que saben lo que están hablando, yo no sé de eso. Pero al fin van a tener preguntas de ustedes, si tienen para ellos le van a dar la respuesta. The last thing I'll tell you is that what we're going to have at the end of this is a very nice route to school, and it's something that the Weatherby School can use in their everyday learning program. And that's awesome. When our kids can feel better getting to and from school, summertime and wintertime, when they fix the sidewalks and they fix the road, it's easier actually to get snow off of the sidewalk too. So that'll be helpful. All right. So I'm going to stop talking. Voy a dejar de hablar y voy a poner la gente que saben de esta cosa a hablar. Pero primero que hago eso, quiero asegurar que ustedes sepan que una persona que es bien importante en la comunidad, que nos ayuda mucho en el gobierno, un amigo de nosotros, David Abdu, que es el concejal de esta área, está con nosotros. So just so you know that somebody who's very important in this process, they had to approve the money for this. And a very important part of our government is David Abdu, the city councilor from the district. This was here with us tonight. Nice applause for our friend David. So I'm going to give this back over to Teresa Park, our planning director. Hey, Teresa.
Hello.
Here you go.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for being here tonight. And the purpose of this meeting is for us to describe a little bit about the project that's forthcoming, let you know what you could expect in the coming months, describe what the nature of this project will entail, as well as answering any questions that you may have about it, particularly if it's going to be if you happen to be directly abutting where the work will be occurring, and you may have some questions about what it might mean for you. As far as how this project came about, we were successful in applying for a grant, what's called a Complete Streets grant. What that means is that the city had to have a Complete Streets policy in place, a policy that the City Council approved, and that qualified us to follow these 3 steps, including, getting a ranking from the state and a number of other things, thresholds that we had to pass in order to apply for and receive this $400,000 grant from the state. The project that we have submitted is the the project that will improve pedestrian connections between Weatherby School and the Riverfront State Park. And the reason for that is it was brought to our attention that there are a high number of students that have to make that crossing. Yet if you were to look at the physical conditions of where students and people and neighbors have to travel, it's a really, it's less than safe. We've observed while we were on site, speeding cars, there's some, the sidewalk conditions aren't what it should be. And so what we're going to be discussing, and we actually have Steve Mallory on board, who is our engineer, and he's going to be describing further the specifics of what the project will entail. But three key things. One, which is the sidewalk improvements. Second, which is improving access, so everything from ramps, making sure that people can cross properly. And thirdly, signage, so that it could better cue and guide both pedestrians and drivers. We anticipate from a scheduling standpoint that we will be close to finalizing the design, and whatever we hear from tonight's meeting as far as impact it may have on the design, we're looking to incorporate. We're hoping to finalize the design, be able to go out to bid, deal with the contracting aspect of it, and start construction in spring. The other thing that for which the city is a partner, and I would applaud the mayor on this, is that in addition to the state money that we're getting to do this, we're also applying from the city's perspective to Chapter 90 money, so that not only will you see better sidewalks, but we will also see better pavement and the better streets along the way as well. So we're combining what the city can bring to bear as well as the grant that we were successful in obtaining from the state. So that's the overview. And as far as tonight's meeting is concerned, Steve will do a presentation of what the project entails, the scope, and then we really want to focus on answering any questions that you may have about the project.
Thank you, Teresa. I'm Steve Mallory with TEC. Office is right down the street. I drive through here frequently to go to downtown areas, meet with Teresa on various projects. And one thing I notice as I drive down Everett Street is the speeds and what the speeds mean for people trying to cross the road. So the project, the limits of the project are along Everett Street from Kingston up to the crossing to the Riverfront State Park, along Kingston Street from Everett Street to just past Burke Street. We got the Weatherby School here. We're right down in this area right now. And then on Sanborn Street to complete the triangle here. So there are three main things that we tried to focus on to make this a complete street. And the complete street means it's a street that accommodates all users. You have vehicles, moving vehicles, parked vehicles, pedestrians, bicyclists. So what we want to try to do is to accommodate all those users in the safest manner possible. In order to do that, there's some intersection reconfiguration down at Kingston in Everett, where we're actually converting this short section to a one-way away from Everett. There'll be a stop sign here and a stop sign here, as there is today. And then on Sanborn Street, we're looking to tee it up a little bit better. And what that will do is allow people to get a better view of oncoming traffic in both directions, instead of the current situation where you're facing almost this way and you have to look almost way over your shoulder to see if someone's coming. We're looking to tee it up a little bit. Also down at the intersection of Kingston and Everett, we're proposing a bump out which basically narrows the road and shortens the crossing distance for people trying to cross there. And it also gets the pedestrians out into the driver's line of sight. And at this crossing and at the other mid-block crossing on Everett Street, we're proposing rectangular rapid flashing beacons, which is a device that you push a button and then these yellow warning lights flash rapidly. What that does is it provides enhanced warning to drivers that someone is looking to cross there. Now, with that, the button, or the flashers, they will stop flashing after a period of time if no one pushes the button. So they don't flash 24/7. It's only going to be when someone pushes that. The second aspect is completing gaps in the sidewalk network. On the north side of Kingston Street, there are some gaps, and there's some sidewalks that aren't in very good shape. So what we're looking to do is reconstruct those sidewalk portions along with ADA compliant wheelchair ramps at each intersection and at each crossing. The third thing is to improve the signing and pavement markings in the area to provide sufficient warning that at the areas that people are looking to cross. We're doing static, regular signs, not the flashers at these intersections, and that just enhances the areas that people cross. So with that, we have detailed plans up here. If anyone has any questions, we can take a look at how it might impact your property. We also have two of the same versions if you'd like to get a closer look. And we also have a smaller handout that you could take home with you. And if you have any additional questions, you can email Teresa or the mayor.
¿Quieren que lo haga en español o everybody knows what happened? It's okay, we can do it in Spanish too. Like he can help me. Lo hagamos en español. Let's do it in español. ¿Todo el mundo sabe dónde está esto colocado? Okay. La primera cosa que se va a entender, I'm going to start, if I miss, I'm going to start with the one way.
Sure.
Es que en esta área ahora son dos vías aquí. Y vamos a hacer el triángulo más grande para que sea de una vía. Así no están atacando, los carros no están yendo de dos vías aquí, y se hace esto cruzado más seguro. Aquí le van a hacer hoy en día esto es directo, se le hace bien difícil a un carro mirar al lado, lo van a hacer que tú tienes que doblar un poco, así tú tienes la carretera a tu frente y puedes ver mejor a la izquierda y a la derecha. Van a poner, I don't know how to say ramps. Say ramps. Inclinados para que puedan subir con casilla de ruedas. Por ley eso tiene que estar. Y en cada esquina van a tener de cada lado esa inclinado para darle acceso a la gente que necesitan subir con su silla de ruedas. So anything else in this area? So the one way that,
Flashers.
van a tener nuevos letreros que van a tirar luz cuando alguien quiere pasar. Van a estar ahí siempre, pero cuando alguien pasa le van a dar el botón y entonces va a echar luces y de una vez que uno cruza se va a apagar. No van a estar hechos 24 horas al día, nada más cuando alguien empuja el botón. Entonces van a poder cruzar. Where they going to be at? Here?
Here and here.
Okay, en estas dos áreas. Anything else on this area? Bueno, y con lo inclinado eso van a ser parte de arreglar las aceras, porque van a ser hechos de concreto, right? Concrete.
Yep.
Van a ponerle nuevas, no solamente letreros que se ven de pasando en el carro, pero también en la calle propia van a tener líneas nuevas. What else? So then here.
Just the ramps, more signs here. Not
Okay.
the flashers.
Van a poner signs without flashers.
Yep.
Van a tener letrero on both sides of the street, just
Yep.
here too.
Not here, that's a stop.
All right, here or here.
Yep.
Okay, how about here? No, because people turning. All right, en esta parte de la calle van a poner letrero sin las luces, porque así gente van a estar cruzando todas las veces y no van a tener luces. Not gonna have lights, right?
Nope.
No van a tener luces, pero van a hacer letrero nuevo que enseña que es un peatón que está cruzando. And what else?
I think that covers it.
Van a hacer las aceras y los inclinados en toda esta área aquí. También esto se llama Complete Streets, una calle completa. que dejan cruzar los peatones, que dejan manejar los carros, motocicletas y bicicletas. So van a tener letreros en la calle que van a estar designados por esos diferentes modos de transportación. So van a ver letreros que ahí es que va a pasar la bicicleta o ahí es que tiene que pasar el carro. So that's going to be in the street, right? You're going to have bicycle lane markings.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Ok. Eso es todo. So, si tienen preguntas, ustedes viven al lado, alrededor, una de estas cosas y le afecta negativamente o positivamente, pueden ser preguntas.
Yo vivo en 226 de la Celo.
227 de la Celo.
Entonces, por ahí viene un gran grupo de niños desde las 6 y algo, están caminando a pie.
That's not this
La
map.
acera está dañada.
Salem Street.
Esa calle totalmente congestionada de niños.
La Celo.
De la iglesia para abajo. It's broken, the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I've been 18 years there. It's
Vamos a coger, como esto no está en la área, vamos a coger el número de tu casa, and we'll send somebody to DPW to come by and look at this. It's not in this area, no está en esta área, pero es bueno tener eso apuntado.
son más niños que por aquí.
Ajá. ¿Y las aceras son ahora de concreto o son de asfalto?
De asfalto, pero ya está dañada.
Ok.
Al lado de mi casa, que viene siendo la izquierda bajando.
Eso me hace la vida más fácil si ya está de asfalto, porque una cosa se puede arreglar rápido. Yeah, so let's make sure. Wendy te va a coger la información porque mandamos algo. Okay. Pero son preguntas así, si tienen lugares que son que necesitan ese tipo de atención, déjanos saber. It's just those are the important things. He said in front of his house he had the sidewalks all messed up, and if we can get it fixed for him, that we do that. So, but it's outside the area, but we'll take care of it anyway. So questions like that would be great about this.
Yep, in the back.
Are you gonna put another flashing light with the button in the other side of the park? Just people close to the park.
Which part?
Over here, the flashing light, you pointed on this side.
Yep.
Are you guys gonna put another one from the park? I mean,
Yes. Yeah. So his question was, is there going to be a flashing light on both sides of the street? So there's going to be one here and here, and then one here and here. They're going to be facing both directions. So on this side of the street, it'll be facing that way. And on this side of the street, it'll be facing that way. So that they'll flash at the same time.
I live on every street and I see the traffic, how it is bad over there, and cars are speeding. It's a good thing that you guys doing that. But I suggest you put signage from the curve coming from South Broadway, like a little farther down there, because I seen cars and I seen kids crossing across the street, almost get hit.
Right.
If you guys take the signage a little farther down, that'd be a great idea.
Yep. Yeah, we can look at adding some advanced warning signs.
Yeah, that intersection that curve is a huge problem because it's super steep. You can't see it on the map, unfortunately.
I've been complaining about that for a few years of the city hall now. You know,
And even the lines don't, even if the lines are there, it's still just a weird setup.
yeah, but I think you guys put signage is gonna help.
Okay.
Cars flying over, you know, and get a kid from the street.
Is that expensive to do? To put like a sign up over there?
Nope.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
Great idea, right?
Absolutely.
I live on 31 Kingston, on the corner of Kingston and Newton. And it's not on the map here. I understand how the project's more on the backside. But I think more attention should be focused on the front half of the school, which is all Newton and Kingston, more on that side. There's a light there on Salem that doesn't have the button for the crosswalk. I know that might have to be,
That intersection is
That's a
really
tough
old.
intersection.
It's always breaking down, right?
yeah.
We,
Light takes forever, no crosswalk painted on the floors, no push buttons, no signs of the schools. And when the cars come around the corner,
They're coming barreling over.
they come barreling, and then all of a sudden you see 20 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour. I think the signs should be further out down the street on Newton.
Yeah.
That way they know they're in the school zone, and they might slow down. I don't know.
Well, that's a great idea, and frankly, I know it's a problem because
Salem,
it's,
Newton,
that-
Kingston, and
'cause it's
Newton.
always shutting down. So the number one place that I gotta complain that the intersection lights are broken is that intersection. And it's because that light is so old.
The sidewalks, those are poor.
And the sidewalks are crazy too. So one of the things that we're talking about doing in, with some of the reserve money that we have called, at the end of the year is to go and like do 10 of the most crazy intersections and change the semáforos. And that intersection at Salem and Kingston is really old, is really, really old. We can't even find parts to fix it anymore. Yeah, Salem and Newton, I'm sorry. But that definitely is on our radar. Not part of this, but we're definitely down to do
You
that.
see the kids, I mean, the kids walk in all directions, but mainly in the morning, you'll see them coming up this way, and the sidewalks is terrible up Newton Street.
So I don't know if the school presentation they can tell us, you guys use the park a lot, right? Yeah, so that's the thing. The reason why we're in the back is because we want to get them from the school
riverfront and all the back.
to the park. And the state really liked that application. The people who were giving out the money thought that was a really good application because we wanted to get the kids safely to the park. That's why we're not doing it in front. You guys think,
Yeah.
well,
Newton.
so that. But we should do Newton. The problem on Newton Street, we should do it.
Sidewalks are just terrible.
And so we got to figure that piece out. And those are already hot top too, right? They're not,
Well, yeah, they are hot top, but they're all broken up.
yeah. So that's, again, the cost to do cement sidewalks versus concrete, asphalt side is like 4 to 1. So it's more inexpensive. So haciéndolo en esa área donde están
Less
los,
expensive with cement?
it's less expensive with, no, it's less expensive with
Less expensive with
asphalt.
asphalt.
Yeah. And we have a lot of asphalt.
Asphalt breaks up, but
Yeah.
after a while, it's like, you gotta redo it. Do it twice.
But you can do more sidewalks. It's a give and take. We have this battle all the time, it's a give and take. I don't have a dog in the fight, I just want to get it done, you know? Dick?
Early in your presentation, you mentioned the problem with speed on that entire corridor, Shattuck Row and Everett Street. Do you have any plans to put portable speed bumps like they did down in the vicinity of South Lawrence East School? Just try to slow traffic down?
That's on us. I would say that's on DPW side, we did not have that on the thing. We have Ames Street, South Lawrence East School. There's another school area that they're trying to do.
Because I noticed in the last several weeks, the portable speed bumps down there at South Lawrence East have been removed.
Yeah, because we're,
Obviously for the winter.
for the winter, yeah.
But we all realize, I mean, you're an engineer, you know the hypotenuse is the shortest distance on a triangle, and the triangle being South Broadway and Andover Street, and that corridor being the shortest distance.
I will
Right.
tell you that Everett Street is probably the street with the most stop signs on it. So it's not really till you get here that you can really build up steam to get through there. But, that doesn't mean we can't do something. about it.
In the vicinity of where the kids would be crossing
Exactly.
from the school over to the park, that would be a good solution.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. We'll take that down.
That's why I'm here today. I live on Everett Street 58, and the speed is that I'm at the park.
There's
When
much
the
stop
speed
signs.
picks up, and so I was thinking, Ryan, like when the crosswalks here, why isn't there like a speed table similar to like how they have in Cambridge?
Raised. You hadn't thought about that?
Because that is just, and even on coming this way, since I've been there, there's been a couple car accidents where they come in,
Off the big curve.
coming towards, from Everett, they hit the curve and they slide into the tree, or the kids jump towards the street.
Yeah, with speed tables on a straightaway like this, they're really more effective if you have a couple in a row. Because you can imagine young kids see a long straightaway and they see a speed hump. All right, let's see how much air we can get. So sometimes they actually encourage speed. We can look at doing another bump out, which is shortening up the curb, tightening the roadway. And what that does is it gives the drivers this, appearance that the road is narrower, so they tend to slow down. With the flashers, that should help during the daytime or, even after school when people are pushing the buttons.
So you think about maybe doing a bump out here?
We could look at it. One thing with the bump outs is there may be some drainage that we would have to look at extending some of the catch basins and pipes, because where when you do the bump out,
Yep.
you end up trapping water in there. And I know that's happened a couple of times down here, even without the bump outs. I know I've driven through some pretty deep puddles over here. So it's one thing we would have to look at.
David, you want to talk?
So, when I am the city councilor for this district, and I will say something the mayor knows and others do. Everett Street is something we get a lot of calls on. I get a lot of calls on Everett Street. For those of you at 58, I've been down here both with some school administration and others. Coming off Rose Street, Mr. Mayor, from the Wall Center heading towards Andover, if you will. That seems to be the place of greatest speed being picked up. And I'm sorry, so as you approach Burke and down towards the tennis court end of the park is where speed is being picked up. And it is real. It's, the stop signs are further down towards the other end of Everett, but it is certainly an area where we want to address, I think, as a city, because when I tell you, I get, of all the phone calls I've gotten in my 11 months in office, more than half of them are speed and safety related to Everett Street. And it's not necessarily one individual, it's several individuals, and it's a common theme.
So is it from Burke to Everett, or is it all the way from Row, Newton Street to Everett?
I would suggest it starts on Row as you're leaving the DEP station, heading for that first straightaway before you hit right at the very top portion of that map. It essentially comes off of Row, there's a curve, and then you hit that straightaway that approaches Burke and Kingston.
So is it helpful, because Row is, if you do the bump outs in Everett, what we're talking about, that'll slow it down to the Everett section, but as soon as you turn over at Burke Street, that's a pretty decent stretch that people can still pick up some.
So I'm not an engineer, but I've often thought perhaps you start with addressing it up at the intersection of Newton Row and
That's an ugly intersection.
well, right, it is. The way it's engineered is horrible, but that's generations ago. But that, I think that's where it starts, and they somewhat like, not ricochet, but they slalom off of that and just pick up speed heading for the straightaway. I would note, someone who couldn't be with us this evening is Pat Mariano. Pat Mariano is a school committee member for this area. We caught up last week before she had a medical procedure, and that is why she couldn't be here this evening. I did want to pass along her best to you, and she said she wishes she could be here. But we compared notes, her from the school side, myself from the community side, which obviously includes the school, but, you know, comparing those notes, Everett Street and Newton Street is something she hears about. Newton is just a matter of the crosswalks, which I know, Mr. Mayor, you're already addressing, and then Everett, which we're doing now. But I just want to say it's a little bit more than what you see on the scope on your board. It comes off of Row. And you're right, Mr. Mayor, we do have to the south stop signs, but Everett is a problem.
So, I mean, I think if we do, I think if you look at the bump outs or even, yeah, let's just, I mean, the bump outs, because I think it's the least material piece. I'm sorry. If we look at the bump outs for Everett Street, that's helpful. And then what was brought up earlier was Salem and Kingston? Salem and Newton? Salem and
Kingston.
Newton and Kingston. There's a light at Salem and Newton that we'll look at.
That light, there's no crosswalk.
And then Newton and where Newton Row and Shattuck meet, that one needs a redesign. That one is not just like, can we put paint down? That one is the one that really, I'm not sure how we don't have more accidents there. So we have those three notes. Can we do bump outs on that section of Everett to slow it down at the tip of this project? And yeah, the tip of that part of that project. And can we do a new intersection light at Salem and Newton? And then can we get into a redesign where Newton, Row, and Shattuck meet? The last two, Salem and Newton, and Row, Newton, and Shattuck, that's stuff that the city's gonna have to take on their own, separate and apart from the money we got for this project. But we can start talking about it.
I have a question. On Burke Street there, is that, those white lines, is that a plan for a crosswalk right here?
Yeah, across,
Is that what it is?
yeah, across Burke Street. That'll be a marked crosswalk.
Okay. Would it, because a lot of the children get dropped off here. I personally drop off my daughters here, and they cross from here to over here. So wouldn't the crosswalk make more sense if you're actually connecting the Kingston sidewalks instead of the Burke Street? Because this here is blocked in the morning. No cars go in when we're dropping off the kids. The school blocks that entrance in the mornings.
Okay.
So I think it would make more sense if the kids that are walking down on Kingston Street are crossing the street to go into Burke Street, and the crosswalk faces the other way.
Yep. Yeah, we can look at adding a crosswalk across Kingston at Burke Street. Certainly.
So when they're crossing, yeah, just
Yeah.
like Teresa pointed with her pen, they're actually crossing the street on Kingston Street into Burke Street, because Burke Street, like I said, is blocked in the morning. So no cars are going in. Technically, no kids are actually crossing the street the way the crosswalk currently is set up. They do it the opposite way. And what happens is you try to drop off your kids, and people are bypassing you and speeding past you when the kids are in front of your car trying to cross the street.
We don't have signage here, right?
No.
Okay. Let's make sure we get it right, what you're talking about, right? 'cause
Yep.
is it-
So you're looking to add one across Kingston, right there. Yep.
And maybe a sign?
Yep.
Any other questions?
I would like to thank council for helping us out on that light on Newton and Field Street that somebody took out, so thank you for mentioning that, because somebody had an accident there
Some
and,
flight there, that corner.
yeah, I had the safety officer contact, so we appreciate that, because it's dangerous, so, thank you.
I would just note, unrelated to this project, that relative to that, it is a team effort, because I immediately contacted the chief of staff for the mayor and through the mayor's office and spoke to the DPW director. I heard from Mr. Eddy, and it was about, and it involves the fire chief because it's, or the fire department rather, because it's the fire department. It really was a team effort, and within 24 hours, I think, maybe 48 from talking to Mr. Eddy, I realize there was some time before that, but it was addressed, and I was told what the mayor said, that that's a very old mechanical device that needs to be replaced. So it's a team effort, like the schools.
Appreciate that.
So thank you.
Just one last thing I want to mention. Something might be overlooked, but it's just something simple. The speed signs on Newton, maybe if we extend them out, push them out further down Newton Street, it'll slow traffic down. Instead of, if you drive in front of the school, in front of Newton Street, the signs are basically in front of the school. I would push them out further down Newton Street to tell traffic, hey, there's a school up ahead, slow down. If you're standing in front of this school here, you'll see all the speed limit signs out front,
Yep.
which I think doesn't make
By
any
that
sense.
time,
I
it's too
would-
late.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what you're
like you've been speeding on along, and all of a sudden you see a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit sign. You're okay. I think those signs should be pushed out further down Newton Street.
Let's take that one back. I think that's easy when we either move the
That's
signs
something
or add,
simple.
or add
Yeah,
signs.
that's something simple. Add or take. Add or remove them.
Move them, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically extend the school.
Yeah, extend the school zone.
That makes sense.
A ton of kids in the school. Too much foot traffic.
A ton, yeah.
Gotta slow down the traffic.
How many students do you guys have?
753 and counting.
All those families dropping kids, it's busy.
Mr. Mayor, I know you also have plans to upgrade the crosswalk at the other end of the road to kids coming from Maple Street.
Yes. That should be in, I think,
Spring.
in the spring. Any other questions? Go with us, Mark? I have one. When is it going to start? I don't know the answer to that question.
Yes, so we're looking to complete the design after this meeting so that we can incorporate some of the feedback. We will have to go out to bid, prepare the bid documents in advance, of course. And we hope to start construction in spring because this contract, we have to complete it by the end of June. So it will have to be done by then,
2017.
next year, yep.
Anybody got it? So spring, and then by the end of June?
Any other questions? And I just want to take a second because Dan McCarthy is here from my office, and just want to thank him because he was instrumental in getting the grant, applying for, and helping us get the grant for the city. So I want to thank him as well. So
Do you want to give folks a contact number if they have any questions? I know there's not a contact number on the paper.
right.
Do you want to just take down the contact number?
I'll give you two things. One is my phone number, 978-620-3501, and my email address, which is tpark@cityoflawrence.com. So you can reach me either way if you have any questions going forward. 978-620-3501.
And then the email?
Email is tpark@cityoflawrence.com. Okay? So contact us at any point if you have any further questions. Okay? Thank you so much for being here tonight.